So I'm here for technical support should you need it, but for the most part, I'm just turning it over now to our two presenters, Sarah Knowles, who is a faculty member at American University, and Sasha Plotnikov, who teaches at Forum Intensive English Center and who's also currently pursuing her MA at American University. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Heather, and thank you all for excuse me, for joining us. And for those of you who I already know, it's wonderful to see your faces, or at least to see your names popping up on the list. And for those of you who don't yet have the pleasure of knowing, welcome. I'm looking forward to talking to you today with my co-presenter Sasha Plotnikov and all the rest of us who have joined this very exciting very first virtual conference for WATESOL. This is pretty unusual. I've never led this type of discussion group on Zoom before for a conference presentation, but I do have some experience, as probably all of us do, in teaching online over the past 7-8 months or so. So we're just looking forward to having a really friendly conversation today about YouTube, which is one of these, pieces of technology that have, been around for quite a while. But at this point, it may be a tool that is becoming even more, sorry, I'm just fixing my video panel here, a tool that's becoming even more useful nowadays when students don't have access to in-person education, everyone's at home, people are looking for opportunities to learn things online, to connect with people online, opportunities to access content online as well. So we thought we could go around really quick and ask you if you're able to unmute yourself and just introduce, who are you and where are you teaching and or working right now, and why are you interested in the topic of YouTube? So I'm going to actually start just with my co-presenter, Sasha. And can you just say a few words about where you're working and why you're interested in YouTube?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you, Professor Knowles, and thank you, Heather, for moderating this. My name is Sasha. I currently work at Forum Intensive English Center in Alexandria, Virginia. And as has been mentioned, I am a student at American University. I've been using YouTube in my classroom for the past several years. Both in Argentina when I was working abroad 2 years ago, and also currently. And I found that it's very good with class engagement and that for supplementary materials as well. But we'll get more into that later. Let's hear from the next person, Elizabeth.
Hey guys, I'm Elizabeth Quillen. I'm a graduate of AU's TESOL program, so shout out to all of us out there. I teach at George Mason University in Korea. So I started over at their Into program and then came over here. I'm interested in YouTube or this session, I guess for a number of reasons, but some, I guess I use YouTube for my students to go over different grammar exercises or grammar lessons. And those have been super helpful, especially being online. So kind of curating content that's out there instead of creating my own. And then I have some students who are really into YouTubing themselves. Can you YouTube yourself?
Sure.
I don't know how that works. So also seeing them use it as a producer and a language learner. So I have some students who have some fun channels out there. And then I also do digital stories with my students, and they put those on YouTube and share them. So yeah.
Oh, great. Sounds like you've got a lot of experience. Thank you.
I facilitate and I task others. If you ask me to put something on YouTube, I would figure out how to do it.
Well, thank you for your honesty.
Don't want any false pretenses out here.
Going on to Carly. would you mind, briefly introducing yourself?
Yes. Hi, I'm Carly. I also am a student at AU in the TESOL program. And I work at ILI in DC, and I also work for International Accelerator Program at AU. And I'm just really interested in this session because I think computer assisted language learning is really interesting. I love technology and language learning. So I'm just very interested to see, I guess, what this presentation is about. And yeah, I use YouTube videos in class and stuff also, but I'm sure there are plenty other ways I can be integrating it as well.
Okay, thanks, Carly.
Mhm.
William, would you mind introducing yourself?
Sure. So my name is Bill Clark, and I teach elementary ESOL in Forest Knolls in Silver Spring.
Oh.
And so I'm interested in YouTube. I don't currently use it. I'm interested in YouTube with adult learners and kind of trying to figure out not just how to teach a specific language piece, but also how to use humor and get the students to enjoy it and have fun.
Do you teach all six levels of ESL or?
First, fourth, and fifth.
First, fourth, and fifth. Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Thanks.
Yeah.
Margaret?
Hi, everyone. Margaret Johnson. I'm also in the AU MA TESOL program. I'm currently teaching at Washington English Center and also doing my practicum at AU, teaching academic English to international graduate students. And I'm really interested in the possibility of YouTube because I noticed that a lot of the students that I have at AU talked about all of the things they have learned during the pandemic from YouTubers. And it's just not something that I've used a lot. So it seemed like a great opportunity. Other people have talked about, the possibility of student engagement through YouTube. So that's my primary interest.
Thanks, Margaret. Jennifer.
I am working at a nonprofit, Management Leadership for Tomorrow in Bethesda. I'm not teaching currently, but I know Sarah. I'm also an AU grad, and I figured if she's leading this session, it's going to be a good one. And I'm really interested in YouTube more from the student side as a Spanish learner. When I was teaching, I did use YouTube, and I found it really hard to curate to good videos. And then when I used them in the classroom, my students responded really negatively because they wanted to know why they were paying Georgetown tuition if they were watching YouTube. So I'm curious how this has gone for others.
That's great. That's very interesting. Thank you. Amy.
Hi, I'm Amy. I am also a MA TESOL student at AU. And there's two things about YouTube I'm interested in. So when I taught in Madrid for a few years, and I taught high school students, and I realized pretty quick that a lot of them, the way they were engaging with English outside of the classroom was by watching YouTube videos of like big influencers, right? So this is like a thing with this generation. Like my younger brother, I've noticed, right? They watch a lot of YouTube videos and they have their favorite YouTubers, and a lot of them are based in the US. So a lot of my students were watching these YouTube videos. So I was like, okay, how can I like use these to like in the classroom, but also a great way to engage them outside of the classroom in an EFL context. And then in addition, in some of our classes, we've been talking about we've watched, I think Elizabeth mentioned like grammar videos. So there's these YouTubers, right, who teach little English lessons. And we were saying like there's so many out there and they're really popular, but they're maybe not all great. So it's like maybe we could become those YouTubers and get like some YouTube stardom. It's like in the back of my head, maybe something one day I want to do, but I wouldn't know where to begin with that. But it's definitely something, that's kind of where I think a lot of our learners are watching and getting content in English is YouTube. So it'd be interesting to try that.
Thanks, Amy. This is actually why that's actually why I wanted to do this discussion session. It's just, you know, from our conversations in the grammar class that we had this past summer in talking about that. So we're kind of jumping off point with that. For those of you who are not on video, you do not need to turn video on, but if you would like to unmute yourself to introduce yourselves, I'll just say your name, and then if you're there, feel free to unmute, and if not, we'll just go on to the next person. Christina?
Hi.
Hi.
I'll pop on.
Oh, nice to see you.
Hi. Let's see. I am not teaching right now. My name is Christina Welty. I, in the last couple of years, moved here from to the area from Chicago, and I taught adult ed and higher ed ESL classes in Chicago. But between move and life, I haven't gotten back to teaching. And I think policy changes also affected, you know, I almost had a job and they couldn't hire me because of not enough students. I'm in this session because I have found Sarah to be a really interesting speaker in workshops I've been to, past conferences the last couple of years. So, and as well, I'm interested in just learning more about how to incorporate tech in teaching to engage my students.
Great.
Yeah.
It's nice to see you again. I remember meeting you at WATESOL last year and the year before too. Nice to see you.
Yeah, good to see you.
Okay, Kelly, do you want to unmute?
Yes.
Okay.
Thanks. I'm Kelly Hilserker, and I live in Brazil actually, but DC is home base, and I teach for a company that does curriculum development mostly, and sometimes I do curriculum development for them, and sometimes I teach. So I am interested in this session a lot, mostly because of the reasons that I think it was Amy mentioned, that YouTubers are so important for like the upcoming generation of students. And it makes me feel old, but I am not into YouTubers. And I find it kind of annoying to scroll through YouTube videos, but that's what the students like to do. And so I want to see how they can use that in an effective language learning method.
Me too. Yes. Thank you. And Amor, do you want to unmute and introduce yourself?
Sure. Hi, my name is Amor, and I'm a volunteer with the Literacy Council.
Okay.
And I'm interested in this session because I would like to know how can I integrate YouTube into teaching with my two T's. And
wonderful.
I have a certificate in TESOL, so definitely of great interest.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
And Eva, do you want to unmute to introduce yourself?
Sure, I'm Eva Carlo.
Eva.
I'm one of the coordinators of NOVA's non-credit ESL program. I also teach an intensive reading writing course this semester. I use YouTube as reinforcement. So I would explain grammar points in class, but then I would also post something useful about the topic in Canvas so that they can refer back to it. The challenge for me has been finding a nice short recording explaining the topic. I can spend an hour, 2 hours looking for a particular YouTube video that I have in my mind, I just can't find. So that's why I joined this session, hoping to hear other people's experiences and maybe learn something.
Yeah, absolutely. Wonderful. Thank you. Mason, do you want to unmute?
Sure. Hi, I'm Mason Fagan. I am a MA TESOL major, and I am in this session because I would like to learn more about using YouTube in the classroom. I've started using a few YouTube videos with my tuties, but I kind of resonate a lot of the sentiments that everyone else has expressed about not being too sure if I'm following the right people or if I'm showing the right videos to my students. And I think that it's a really good platform because I think that students are very engaged with it, but I think it's also about knowing the right videos to show them too.
Right.
So I'm interested to learn more.
Right, right. Thank you, Mason.
I think it might be.
Paulina, do you want to unmute to introduce yourself?
Hi everyone, I'm Paulina Vinogradova. So just wanted to see what you're going to talk about today and how you approach YouTubing. So I'm very curious to see your perspective on this.
Great, thanks, Paulina. And well, how many more do we have here? Okay, last but not least, oh no, two more. Edwin, would you like to unmute yourself and introduce yourself?
Good morning. My name is Edwin. I'm one of the program coordinators at Costa. So I'm here to just learn different strategies, different approaches, how to use YouTube in our classroom settings.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for joining.
Thank you.
And Jen, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes, of course. I'm a TESOL student in the American University, and I also do a research paper on the same topic because the topic is the social media on the student language learning. So I also want to know what the influence between the YouTube and the student and also for the English teaching. So I entered this meeting.
Thank you so much, Jen. All right, we will get started. Thank you all so much for bringing your experiences and your interest. This is technically a discussion session. I'm definitely not an expert in using YouTube or even creating YouTube content, but I wanted to have this session because I think, this wide world of YouTube, it's out there, as you've all mentioned. Many of our students are interested in maybe even exclusively pursue language content online through YouTube. And I was curious kind of over the past few months, what videos are out there? Who is making all of these videos and who's accessing these videos? Are these videos any good that are out there? And can I, as Amy mentioned, kind of before, can I make YouTube videos? Can I be a YouTube influencer someday? Like, is this really the future of our field? So I wanted to bring everybody together here just to kind of talk about some of these things. And we're actually going to look at some videos that Sasha and I have found and have kind of curated for us. Some of them are maybe better than others, but we're not going to tell you what we think. Because of the size of the group and kind of the timing here, what I think we're going to do is show the excerpts that we've chosen and then get us all into breakout rooms to discuss some questions about the excerpts that we found. So heads up, if you can grab a pen and a piece of paper or something to take notes in the next couple minutes, that might be helpful because we'll be kind of going through the clips rather quickly, and I want to make sure that you have a chance to capture any thoughts that you might have about what we've seen. So is my slideshow still showing? Yes. Okay, great. So real quick, I tried to find out, is there any statistics out there about the top YouTubers in English? And maybe that information is somewhere, but I haven't been able to find it. I did find a lot of lists of what other people think of who other people think would be the top YouTubers in English language teaching at this point. So this is just one of the lists here on the left side of the screen of the top channels as identified by a company called Fluent U. And I went through a lot of these. Some of these I was already familiar with, and I can agree that, okay, I think a lot of these are probably quite well known among the YouTube, English language learning audiences. And as you start just kind of looking through some of these YouTube channels themselves, you kind of get a feel for the channel. I think it's not, if you're just looking for random videos, it can be kind of challenging. But once you find channels or people that you like, or influencers that you like, you start to get a sense for how highly produced some of these videos are, for how topical they are, and for the messaging that is coming across, and also for how they look and what language backgrounds they represent. So we tend to see a vast majority of them being white native English speakers who are the most popular on YouTube. When you think about how many people are actually on YouTube, when I started looking around, I was absolutely amazed at the number of subscribers some of these channels have. Up in the right-hand corner here, we see Rachel's English. She's got over 3 million subscribers. Another, highly produced person, English, has 3.5 million subscribers. We can even see, through some of the, I don't know what that's called, like the heading, like the picture heading on each channel, you can kind of get a feel for what these people are selling, are marketing when it comes to the content that they have, as well as the image that they're trying to convey. So we see lingua marina in the top left-hand corner. There's a skyline, right? Languages, personal development, America. And, she almost kind of looks like, I don't know, she looks very cosmopolitan. And then at the bottom of the screen here, we've got a couple simple English videos with Vicky Hollett and her husband actually put together all these videos, and we'll take a look at them in a few minutes. And they seem kind of very friendly and kind of goofy, and just, like some people that you just want to hang out with in their kitchen and speak English with. So just overall, it's really interesting to just see how many subscribers many of these channels have. And then if we look at the number of views that certain videos have, again, I've been shocked to see just how many views. The upper left-hand corner, Learn English with Ronnie, her video on how to remember vocabulary has almost 7 million views. It was published 7 years ago. Her colleague here, Learn English with Rebecca, has over 10 million views on a video called 8 Common Grammar Mistakes in English. So just as a teacher who's never used YouTube to learn English, just spending some time looking around has really been shocking to me in terms of just how many people are on and using it. Bill. Oh, can you unmute yourself, Bill?
That I'm unmuted.
Oh, there you go.
It happens in class too.
Yep.
I pop back in from a breakout room and I start talking like, Mr. Clark, you need to unmute yourself. So have you also done research on if any of these people have ads?
They all, I think pretty much they all have ads.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. They have sponsors. They have it.
I think some of these people actually are making a lot of money on their own.
Mm-hmm.
I think that they're just generating revenue on YouTube and making, like, that's their income.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. That's the way all of us are going to become millionaires. Eventually, someday, we're all going to become YouTube stars. Find sponsors and things. So any thoughts to share here just about what you've observed in terms of channels, subscribers, views, anything that you'd like to share here before we jump on and watch some videos? Is anybody else shocked that some of these have millions and millions and millions? Jennifer, you're not shocked?
No, I remember some of these. I feel like I've even seen them before at, looking them up years ago. And I haven't looked in a while, but at the time there was so little good content that I'm not surprised if you got in early and had decent content. Not saying these people aren't, but
yeah,
so much interest around the world.
Yeah. Well, that's an interesting thing to point out as well. When people post things on YouTube, unless they, purposely take them down, they're out there forever. So they will just keep accumulating views, even if the content is old or older. Okay. Well, we were thinking that what we'd like to do is show you clips of, and depending on timing, maybe 8 or 9 different videos, but short clips, like 20, 30 seconds each. So just to get a kind of taste of some of the things that are out there. And if you would like to kind of facilitate our discussion after watching the videos, maybe taking down some notes in terms of the features that you're seeing in the videos that might appeal to your students specifically, or that would appeal to you as a teacher or as a language professional, or features that wouldn't appeal to your students or wouldn't appeal to you. So I think the word here right now is just thinking about what appeals. And you can think about that in terms of pedagogy. You can think about that in terms of the personality of the YouTuber, him or herself. You can think about terms of the content that they're actually presenting or the format of it. You can think about it in terms of the video production quality. There's a lot of different things that you might be tapping into when you're considering what's appealing to students, and keeping in mind that what's appealing to students might be different than what's appealing to you. We want to kind of keep both on the table. Questions about that? Or anything to add? I noticed that there were a few comments in the chat box, and I haven't had a chance to, check them. So I'm just checking real quick. Okay, great. So what I'm going to try to do, the fun thing always, is share my screen again, and this time we're going to watch videos. So I'll give a quick introduction to the videos themselves, like very, very quick, and then we're going to play it. And then we won't stop to talk until we get through all of the videos. Does that make sense? That's okay? All right. So I want to thank some of my students from the grammar class over the summer who found some of these videos, and Sasha also actually has contributed a lot of the videos on this playlist because these are things that she has used or has come across in her own teaching. So Sasha, if you want to jump in ahead of time on any of these videos and explain, what it is, you're welcome to do that as well. I don't want to.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So this first one here is a video about parts of speech. Okay, so we're just going to listen to the first 20 seconds or so about parts of speech. Oh, I also wanted to say that we'll start by looking at about 6 or 7 videos that are about grammar, and then 2 or 3 that are about pronunciation, because we've found that the vast majority of YouTube videos out there tend to be tutorials on grammar or pronunciation, which also tells you, something about what YouTubers think their audiences want, or also maybe what YouTubers think they're qualified to talk about.
So Sarah.
Whoops. Yes. Yeah.
So if we talk about that at the beginning of the conversation, what if there's a mismatch between what the people who are making the content think the students want? Because assuming that some of the students are relatively new at learning English, so it's just a big mystery to them, then is there content that is not being covered? So if we could add that to the discussion.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know what that is, but
mm-hmm.
It just occurred to me that might be a missing piece to that students might actually value and want.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Thanks.
Yep. Well, why don't we, do, a few excerpts, and I don't want to spend all the time watching videos either, because I'm sure people also want to actually talk about these things. So we'll go through, like I said, just a few of the excerpts, and then we'll break to discuss, keeping in mind these questions.
parts of speech: verb, noun, adjective, adverb, pronoun, interjection, conjunction, preposition. These allow us to structure a grammatically correct sentence, as each has a different function within a sentence. Verb. A verb describes an action or experience.
Okay, I think that's enough of that. But you can kind of get a feel for what that video does, this rate of speech and so on. Here's the next one. This is the one that had over 10 million views.
Hi, I'm Rebecca from Ingvid. In this lesson, you'll have a chance to review 8 common English errors. So let's see how you do. The first one. Today morning, I woke up late. So what's wrong with that? There is actually something wrong with each and every one of these. I'll tell you that in advance. There are no tricks here, okay? So what's wrong with that sentence? Today morning, I woke up late. Well, it should be this morning, okay? We don't say today morning. We say this morning. Number 2.
Okay. Remember that. We don't say today morning. All right. On to the next clip.
Peekaboo. How are you? My name is Ronnie. I'm going to teach you some English. Imagine that I would teach you English on Ingvid. Ingvid.com. Today's lesson is good versus bad with nouns. I hear this mistake a lot, almost every day. So I want to help you. I want you to sound as natural as possible when you speak English. So maybe you have already learned that we have uncountable and countable nouns.
Okay, that's Ronnie. Next grammar clip on the present perfect.
What is the present perfect? The present perfect is unfinished time. What is unfinished time? Unfinished time is an unbroken connection between the past and the present. A good way to understand it is to compare unfinished time with finished time. With finished time, we use the past simple. I went to Paris last year. Last year is finished time. Oh, I really miss Paris.
But look at this sentence. I have been to Paris twice. Here the context is unfinished time. What is the unfinished time? Here you're talking about experiences in your life.
Now I want to go to Paris after watching that video. Okay. Next one, also on grammar.
All right, everybody, let's learn some irregular verbs. Go, take, took, taken, shake, shook, shaken. Are you having fun?
No.
Would you have more fun if I hit you with my hand? This is my hand, my third hand. I have another idea. Maybe a little bit more fun way to learn irregular verbs. You want to try? Yeah. Yeah? Okay. Let's try it. The microphone I take, took, taken. You shake, shook, shaken. Wake, woke, woken to the style I'm creating. Think, thought, seek, sought. Listen to the lesson that I teach, taught. Don't sleep, slept. I creep, crept.
It's actually remarkably catchy. Sasha found that one too. Oh, that's great. One more, again, our friendly
We're putting together a crew.
Married couple.
It's gonna be.
Our married couple friend. Yeah.
Hi, Jason. I'm your surgeon.
My surgeon?
And this is your appendix.
My appendix?
We had to take it out. We're making smoothies with our blender.
We've put pineapple in.
And strawberries. Another strawberry?
Yes, put it in.
And banana.
Banana's fattening.
Now we're going to turn on the blender and make a smoothie.
Wait, don't turn it on yet. I'm going to put in some spinach.
Spinach? Take it out.
No, it's good for you. Okay, turn it on.
Okay, phrasal verbs. So those are the ones that we had to share today for grammar, talking about grammar. And then just a couple seconds from a couple of pronunciation videos that we found as well.
For all of you Brazilians out there, this is pronunciation lesson 3 for my Brazilian subscribers, my Brazilian friends. This video is going to be about some sounds that maybe you haven't even thought about. And the first one is ear and year. Can you hear the difference? Ear, year. So when I'm saying ear, I'm pushing a lot of air out of my diaphragm. Ear.
Okay. English for Thai. Bruce.
สวัสดีครับทุกคนที่อยากเก่งภาษาอังกฤษนะครับคลิปนี้ผมจะบอกวิธีพัฒนาสำเนียงอังกฤษที่ผมว่าสำคัญที่สุดเลยครับนั่นคือการเน้นเสียงพยางค์อย่างถูกต้องเดี๋ยวผมพูดให้ฟังนะครับช้อปปิ้งคำว่าช้อปปิ้งนะครับมันไม่ใช่ช้อปปิ้งต้องเน้นเสียงพยางค์แรกนะครับมันจะออกแบบว่า shopping นะครับไม่ใช่ช้อปปิ้งคำต่อไปครับ
Okay. One more.
OutSchool offers thousands of interactive online courses, connecting hundreds of teachers.
Produce the sh and ch sounds. Your lips round a bit, halfway into a pucker. Your top and bottom teeth get close to each other. What's different? When you produce the sh sound, see how long you can hold it for. Here, I'll hold it for about 5 seconds. Now, try to hold the ch sound for that same 5 seconds. Ch. Did you hear that?
Okay. This sample playlist that we put together is available on the Canvas site. If you go to our discussion board, we've posted the link with a couple other videos that didn't make it on here today. So the idea right now would be for us to break into small groups, since there's so many of us, and talk a little bit about what we noticed in terms of things that appeal to our students and things that maybe appeal to us or wouldn't appeal to our students or wouldn't appeal to us as teachers. Any questions or comments before we get you into breakout rooms or get us into breakout rooms? Okay. Sasha and I will also be in a breakout room. With some of you, we're going to do rooms of about 5 people, and I'll bring us all back in 10 minutes. Actually, Heather, I don't see an option for me to start a breakout room.
Okay, you should have that, but if not, I can do it. Do you want to be in one and Sasha in another? And otherwise just randomly assign people?
Yeah.
Okay. Give me
Sorry.
No, that's okay. And I'm sorry if that's something I somehow missed that. So we want 4.
Yeah, everything looks the same as it normally does when I teach, except I'm not seeing that.
Give me 1 second here.
Yeah, take your time.
Okay, we've got rooms of 4, 4, 4, and 5.
Mm-hmm.
And Sarah, go ahead and either send me a message or just at the 10-minute mark. Do you want me to go ahead and end them right at 10 minutes?
Yeah, if you wouldn't mind.
I'll do that. Okay.
Thank you.
You'll all get an invitation to join your room.
Thank you.
Eva and Bill, did you see a pop-up thing inviting you to join a breakout room? Hi, Emmanuel.
Hello.
We just broke people up into breakout rooms, so I'm going to go ahead and move you into one of the rooms and you can just join that discussion, all right?
Okay.
So you should get a pop-up inviting you to join. Just click to join the room. Good morning, Jayu.
Oops, sorry.
No, that's okay. Are you interested in the YouTube session?
Yeah.
Okay, we just split into breakout rooms. So I'm going to go ahead and assign you to a room and just go ahead and join them and join the discussion, all right?
Okay, thank you so much.
Sure. You should, if you're familiar with Zoom, you should see an invitation that you just click to join the room.
Yes, thanks.
Sure. Hi, Christian.
Hello.
You're just joining the session? We're working in breakout rooms right now. So I'm going to go ahead
I'm quite
and
confused. Yeah, I'm quite confused this way.
Okay.
Okay, break time.
Yes, not a break time, a breakout room. So from the whole session, we've split into small groups for discussion.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So I'm going to go ahead and assign you to a group, all right?
Yeah, sure, thank you. I'm here in Thailand, by the way.
Okay, well, welcome. You probably are the farthest away joining us this morning.
Okay, thank you.
All right, hold on one second. Let me see which room has, I'm going to put you in room 4. You should get, are you familiar with Zoom?
Yeah.
Okay, so you
Not-
should see an invitation to
Okay.
join the room. Go ahead and just
Room
join in.
for. Okay.
Yep.
Thank you very much.
Sure. Good morning, Wakako.
Good morning.
Hi, the group for this, the participants for this session are in breakout rooms right now.
Oh, all right. Well, actually, then it's okay. I'll come back.
Okay, I can assign you to a room. I'm sure that's fine if you'd like.
Oh, that's all right. Thank you.
Okay, sure.
Oop, sorry. Sorry about that.
No problem. No worries.
Wrong link. Good morning, Mark.
Morning.
Are you here for the YouTube session?
Well, I was trying to get into the speaking session, but there was nobody there.
Okay, interesting. It could be that they're doing the same thing we are. People are in breakout rooms right now. So if you'd like, I can assign you to a breakout room and you can just join the discussion.
Okay, sure.
Okay, I'll just go ahead and put you in. We just got a couple minutes left there and then we'll be all back together. I'm going to put you in room 1. You should get an invitation to join that.
Got it.
Great. Welcome back. As you're coming back, I think you all know it'll just take a second until all the breakout room people have come back. And if you are coming back, as a reminder, maybe just mute yourself once again for the full session and just unmute if you want to join the discussion at the last few minutes.
Bye, guys.
Welcome back, everyone.
Hello, hello.
Yeah, that went by really quickly, and it feels like we were just kind of digging in, and now it's gone by pretty quickly. I don't know, Sasha, would you mind kind of jumping in here and sharing a little bit in your own experience about, you know, what has been good about YouTube? What are things to be cautious about? You know, maybe talking a little bit about what you all talked about in your group, whatever.
Sure. So one thing that was addressed in my group was, would you use this in the classroom or would you use this as supplementary things? And one of the answers was that, well, I can teach it better. And that stood out to me because when I use YouTube in my classroom, it is always after I have taught it. And the reason why, you know, I do my teaching, I do my board work, I answer the questions, and, you know, the students still have that confused look, like, what, and, you know, the furrowed brow. So what I do is I do like a fresh face approach. With the simple English videos, the old couple, they do a great job of explaining and really breaking down grammar concepts and other vocabulary. So I do my teaching and I'm like, all right, you didn't quite get it from me, that's fine. Here it is, they're saying the same thing as I am, but it's a fresh face. Now I also assign stuff for like homework or supplementary things. Like if I get the question, teacher, I'm having trouble with pronunciation. Then I would send some of those pronunciation videos to them and say, okay, here you go. This is particular for your language. This person is an expert in pronunciation for you. And they have to do that on their own. I like YouTube for visual aids. I like it when you take authentic material. You have to do a little bit of research, but if it's topical and it is relevant to your topic, what you're going through class, picking up some authentic material, some realia, and doing a guided listening with your students is great. I've had a lot of success with that. And you know, with that also, it hypes them up for the topic. It's part of building the bridge, building the scaffolding that'll go through the rest of your class. Now, some reasons to be cautious, and this was brought up in my group, and I wonder if it was brought up in yours. It's sometimes really difficult to find good videos. You have to sit for maybe half an hour and go like, oh, does this, you know, is this level appropriate? Is he speaking too fast? Is the, you know, the visual aids too jarring for the eyes? So, you know, those are questions you have to go through your head while you're looking for the video. And if it doesn't check out, oh, okay, let's find another one. Let's find another one. And some of those videos can run very long. I've seen half-an-hour videos. Students' attention does not last that long, especially for heavy topics like the present perfect. The quality of videos can vary. Like, it was unanimous. The peekaboo lady, we didn't like her.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So some quality was really good, some was not. And, you know, is it interesting? Do students like it? And there, you know, do you want just another version of board work, or do you want a new way of approaching the grammar or approaching the vocabulary? So those are just some of those things. I guess we then kind of like open up for general discussion, right, Sarah?
Well, we are kind of out of time.
Oh no.
Unfortunately. Thank you so much, Sasha, for kind of summarizing those ideas and, just leaving us with these takeaways to think about. And Sasha and I and other people on here, we've talked about, or people who are on Head to Leave, we've talked about maybe developing more YouTube content ourselves in the future. Like if this lady can get 6 million views, I bet you I can get, I mean, it's not about views, but, what do these people have? And in many cases, I've looked them up. They don't have MA TESOLs. They have maybe a certificate. Maybe they have a lot of experience teaching abroad, but they don't necessarily have, we have other things to offer as well. And Sasha and I just wanted to invite you that if you're interested in kind of forming a, I don't know, support group or something to pursue maybe looking into developing your own content and just kind of learning more about that and helping each other learn about it, because we are not experts by any means, but we are interested in this. Please do email us. We have our information on the Canvas site and also the playlist itself. So thank you so much for coming. I hope you have a wonderful conference, and I'm sure I'll see some of you in some of the other sessions later today as well. Thank you, Sasha. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. And thank you, Heather, for hosting.
You're very welcome. Thank you guys for an excellent session. I see the class there on